way too many guitar players simply memorize chords forever without truly understanding what makes them different. So for example, major and minor and sus4 and augmented and diminished, all of the primary chord tones are really just one note away from each other. And once you have an understanding of this relatively simple concept, chords stop feeling so random, and your understanding of general music theory and your understanding of the guitar as an instrument becomes so much more powerful and makes you a much better player, right? So if you want to be a great guitar player, your hands have to be able to do what you want them to do, but you also have to have an understanding of what and why you're doing to bring everything together and become a great, musician. All right, and that's exactly what we're going to cover today is, all of these different flavors, these different chord tones, what makes them different, and how you can really, master all of these flavors and shapes and tones so that it's, baked into your musicianship DNA. And on top of that, as I guess a bonus, I'll be showing you how you can move this all around the neck to different shapes and different areas so that you can reinforce and bolster your understanding of the neck, which as a guitar player is of the utmost importance, right? You want to be able to move things around and, choose different spots based on the context of the jam or the song or things like that. All right. So that's my plug to watch all the way through, because there's going to be a lot of important nuggets of truth and information in here. Okay. But to kick things off, we're just going to look at a major chord, just 3 notes. All right. So every chord has the same basic DNA, the 1, the 3, and the 5. All right. And this is a C major triad, just 3 notes, triad. Okay. 1, 3, 5. So if you think about your bigger, open chords, right, that have 5 and 6 notes, it's just the same 3 notes stacked on top of each other, all right? But each one of those chords just has 3 notes, okay? So if you want to even pause right now and just say that out loud, 1, 3, 5, right? 1, 3, 5, because that's going to be very important to just have in your brain. The first note in the major scale, the third note in the major scale, and the 5th note in the major scale. And when we move it to a different position, it'll be the same chord, but now it'll be stacked differently. 3, 5, 1. All right, so again, very important for mapping out the neck. All right, you now know you've got to watch the whole freaking thing. So here's major, 1, 3, 5. The difference between major and minor is we flatten the third. That's the only difference between major and minor. We take the third and we flatten it. So it's still 1, 3, 5, 1, flat 3, 5. All right? And important to just recognize those subtle differences create a big change musically. Excuse the singing, but happy, happy, stable, more melancholy, drearier, all right? But you'll want to, if you're making your own music, break things up. Oh, you know what? I need a minor, flavor here, okay? I've got too much major stuff going on. I need to change things up, all right? And it'll also help you understand, why is this E major and why is this E minor? Oh, well, we're only changing 1 note, so that must mean that this is a major third and that this is a minor third. Lovely. Oh, and if we go to D, and I shift that top string, right, the high E down, oh, that must be the difference between a major third and a minor third. Lovely. All right, it's just to really make sure you understand the what and the why, okay? So there we are. There's the difference between major and minor. Third, right, the 3 and the flat 3. Okay, now moving on, major and sus4. You know, I feel like that's something that a lot of guitar players come up against. They see sus4 on a chord chart and they're just like, all right, well, I'm learning a song. I'm just going to play this chord. I don't understand why it says sus4. Sus4, suspended 4. And suspended, for me, really feels like the perfect word for this context, because it kind of puts us in this uncertain no man's land, okay? Instead of a 3, we're replacing the tone of a 3 with a 4, the 4th note in the major scale. You can check your math, all right? So that 4 blocks us from hearing, is this major or minor? Well, we're unsure. It's suspended, you know, in this uncertain place as a sus4. Okay, so we can replace that, you know, when we're moving around. That can go to a minor flavor, or it can go to a major flavor. And there are a gazillion songs. I won't bore you with a ton of examples. I can think of, you know, oh God, you know, off the top of my head, like Pinball Wizard is going to be, you know, a major sus4 flavor. And then let's say Tangerine by Led Zeppelin is going to be a minor sus4 flavor. All right, you can check those examples out. I'm pretty sure I'm right on those. But anyways, you can hear it now, you know, when it comes up. Oh, that's a suspended flavor. Interesting. And again, when you're creating your own music, you know what? This would be the perfect spot for a suspended flavor. I'm going to inject that into this song that I'm writing, okay? But there it is. It's the difference between, again, one note from major to sus4, right next to each other. And again, major and minor is also one note, one half step. All right, so there's already 3 important major flavors, or excuse me, I should just say chord tones, chord flavors, instead of confusing things with major. There's 3 primary chords and chord tones under our fingers. Like I said, you know, stick around. I'm going to give you a free resource that's going to make refining the entire neck really, really simple. Okay, so just stick with me here. The next tone will be, right, here's major. It's going to be augmented. I took the 5 and I made it a sharp 5. All right, so in this tone, we got a sharp flavor. So 1 3 5, 1 3 sharp 5. And augmented, there's probably a lot of more elegant ways to describe an augmented flavor. Certainly if you've listened to or played Beatles songs, you've seen, you know, AUG before. All right, I look at it as a tone that needs a resolution, and you'll see this when we go over diminished next, but it's just basically choosing the energy, the vibe, the flavor you're going for. Do you go with, you know, does an augmented fit musically here? Is it better to throw in a diminished flavor? Things like that are your decision, but right, we're pausing on this augmented. It gives you a greater desire for this resolution, you know, so a different example would be, you know, it just gives you that extra second to build, and you can compare that to, you know, without the augmented. You're not getting that same resolution. All right, now different progression. I'm messing with things a little bit, but it gives you this desire for this resolution. And the difference between, you know, augmented and diminished would be that flavor. Maybe augmented is a little more dreamlike, and maybe diminished for you is like, you know, this moment of dreary melancholiness that you need to get away from and really finish things off. All right, but with that, let's move into diminished. And this will be the final tone and chord shape or chord tone until I show you how to bring this everywhere and how to refine it so that, again, it's really in your system. That's so freaking important. You can't just look at this once and say, I've got it, right? People who do that with any instrument always get stuck, right, for a long period of time. So I will show you that in 1 second. But let's take a look at major again, kind of reset. Diminished, we actually flatten the 3rd and the 5, right? So the 3 and the 5 are flattened here. But I look at this as an extension of a minor flavor. So if you're looking at it like that, it's, 1 note away from a minor flavor. Either way, very close, all right? Flat the 3rd, flat the 5. And now you've got this shape right here. And the reason why it's important to learn these shapes everywhere is when we move up the neck, well, there's diminished here. Here's a C diminished chord. So this shape might be, funky city for you. Why would I ever hold this position when I can just go here? That's a decision for you to make. That is personal preference, all right? But there are the 5 tones. And let me just say really quick, diminished, oh, there's a gazillion, places for diminished, but right, that little, I've got to find a great resolution. That wasn't maybe the greatest, progression example, but it can really give you this desire for, here's diminished again. Another diminished. I gotta resolve that, when I hit a diminished chord. So things to think about and ponder and play with when we get into the realm of, refining these and practicing them. There are all the flavors. So the free resource in the description, right? And I'm about to take you through this, so continue to stay with me, all right? I feel like I always got to rope people into you got to watch the whole thing if you really want to get the full concept. In the description, there is a free PDF, all right? No strings attached. It's a Google Drive link. I want you all to be great players. I don't need your email. It has what I'm about to take you through. Every major, minor, augmented, diminished, and sus4 chord in each position, each inversion on the 3-2-1 string set, like I just showed you, the 4-3-2 string set, the 5-4-3 string set, and the 6-5-4 string set. So this is a big time free resource. And with that being said, I do want to make this accessible for everyone. But if you recognize that, that takes a decent amount of work on my end, these lessons are free. Obviously, I put them on YouTube. I do have a link in the description as well. It's a buy me a coffee link. You can support me in the channel and keeping things free using that link. Obviously, I greatly appreciate it, but no pressure there. But I want to throw that out there because, these things take time, they take effort. But more importantly, I want you to all be great guitar players. And an easy way to support me and the channel for free is to just like the video and subscribe, okay? But here is how I like to practice all of these flavors, right? I go major, 2, 3, 4, minor, 2, 3, 4, major, always back to major, 2, 3, 4, suspended, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, augmented, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, diminished, 2, 3, 4. I'm counting because I do think it's always helpful to put a metronome on. More so than to push you, it's to actually keep you in a great pocket and keep you relaxed. So this is about learning shapes, getting familiar with where they are at on the neck. You shouldn't be rushing here. This is about embracing certain theory concepts and having a good understanding of music more than it is, I've got to, get through these shapes really quickly. All right, so what we do after that is we move up. I'm gonna show you on the 3-2-1 string set. So the G, the B, and the high E. It's up to you to set a timer, right? If this is difficult for you, you're a little newer, set a 5-minute timer, a 10-minute timer. If you only get through the 3-2-1 and the 4-3-2 string set, that's lovely. Pick up where you left off tomorrow. If you have a ton of time, you're a student or something, and you've got a lot of free time, you don't have a 9-to-5, you don't have kids, whatever, you might be able to go through this in every position every single day, and that will also be a lovely thing, and you don't have to set a timer. But I just want to throw that out there. So once we're done with this position, we'll go up, all right? Major, 2, 3, 4, minor, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, suspended, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, augmented, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, diminished, 2, 3, 4. Let's just finish it off, right? So we get all, each inversion together, right? This would be root because it's stacked perfectly, 1, 3, 5. This is the first inversion, all right, because it is 3, 5, 1. And then this is the second inversion, 5, 1, 3. Okay, so major, 2, 3, 4, minor, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, suspended, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, augmented, 2, 3, 4, major, 2, 3, 4, diminished, 2, 3, 4. And what I'm going to do in the PDF is I'll always start with the root positions. All right, so even though on the 4-3-2 string set, the root is up here, that's where I'm going to start, just so you can always go root, first inversion, second inversion. Okay, I think that'll be helpful for your brain. Once you get comfortable, mix things up. Just do, second inversion on 3-2-1, 4-3-2, 5-4-3, 6-5-4, to keep things fresh and give yourself some challenges to really get these shapes down and understand, right? The reason we go back to major is to always understand how these differentiate from the most basic chord shapes, right? I always think major is going to be the most basic shape and the position you want to be most familiar with. Okay? That's really the deal. Like I said, I know I hammered it earlier, but that resource is legit, okay? And it'll allow you to really open things up for yourself musically. So I'll just ask you again to consider, supporting me in the channel and keeping it free by supporting and giving a little bit at the Buy Me a Coffee link also in the description. Okay, but definitely download the resource. You don't have to come back to this video every single time you want to practice this and refine this. I think that's a really helpful thing that I want you all to have. And of course, you can also like and subscribe to support the channel as well. All right, there's the deal. Thank you for watching this. I think it'll be helpful. I hope it was helpful. And I will see you all on the next one. Peace.